Okay, there might be some network fluctuations. Those who are online are able to hear me?
Yes,
No
sir.
response. Great.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we discussed perhaps yesterday you would have attended online. So yesterday we discussed doubly linked list, right? I hope you understood. If not, please try and go through the slides again and see what we discussed, and we'll try to do that in lab. Okay. Today is the last concept of linked list. From today onwards, we will stop discussing linked list after this class. Next class onwards, we'll discuss other data structures, which are the essential ones which we are going to use at various places. The other data structures, if you remember in the introduction of data structures, I told you that there are linear data structures, non-linear data structures. We have stacks, queues, trees. All these data structures will come ahead. All these data structures you can implement using arrays or linked lists. You can implement in either way. And we will try to see what is the advantage of using when you are going to implement in arrays and linked lists, and what is the difficulties also we'll try to see. But in order to implement those data structures, we need to have a basic idea of all the fundamental data structures, how you are going to implement practically. Okay. So whenever you say that I want to implement a stack, whenever you want to say I want to implement an array, or whenever you want to implement any queue or a tree or a graph, the fundamentally what you are going to do in your program is either you are going to declare array or a linked list. That's how we start implementing the concepts of data structures using linked lists. So when you do that, again, those data structures, again, they have different applications. And those applications we will try to study with respect to operating systems in the upcoming weeks. Okay. Because your curriculum is designed in a way that data structures has to be understood in the point of view of data operating systems. We'll try to see what are the applications we'll try to get out of it. Now, today in this class, we'll see what are the circular linked list. If you would have understood a single linked list, and if you would have understood the double linked list, circular linked list is very easy. Okay, no need to worry about much if you are understood the concepts of single linked list and double linked list. Right? As I told in the previous class, we started with arrays, and there are many disadvantages with arrays. Right? We have a limited storage or fixed storage. If you want to use more, you can't do that. If you are using less, then you are wasting memory. That's where we went for linked list, and we started with single linked list. We can use the data, and the next value access will be stored using links or pointers or address. But then again, there is a limitation that we have to traverse in one way only. You can't come back when you want to do something. That's where we went to doubly linked list, where each node will have two links. Each node will store two address, front and back, right? Or you can move in forward direction also and backward direction also. And one more way of making a linked list data structure is circular linked list. In circular linked list, you will have just a minute. Yeah. We can see in your slides, in your mobiles, singly linked list. If the end of the list is indicated by a null value, right? How you came to know that whether you reach the end of the list in singly linked list or doubly linked list based on the null value, right? At the end, you traverse and you see that the next address is null, then you make a logical assumption that you reached an end value. In circular linked list, it will be not like that because your last node will be connected to the header node. Okay, your last node address will be connected to the header node, which will make a circular linked list. Ideally, it will store one after another, but the last value address of that last node, the link of that address will be the head node. Okay. Physically, you will store one after another, but logically, you say that the address is stored, the last value address is stored in the head, which will make a circular. Which will make after last node, the next node you will visit this head node. After head node, again first node will come. Okay, which will make a circular linked list. Okay, so you don't have ends. So we are going to discuss in today's class circular linked list with singular linked list what we studied. With that extension only, we will try to see circular linked list. Since you already studied doubly linked list, you can make the same logical extension of circular doubly linked list. Okay, so we are going to study with single link only. What are the complications in circular linked list? That will help you in turn to understand how we will discuss with how to deal with circular doubly linked list. We will not discuss that because discuss single linked list, doubly linked list, circular linked list. It's up to you that whether you want to know about circular doubly linked list or not. I'll leave to you. It's if you want, if you are really interested, you explore on your own. Because we have to cover other data structures, we'll start looking on those data structures. Okay. So you can see that the picture which is shown in your slide, it shows like a circular, right? It shows like a circular. Now I'll tell you where this application is pretty much be implemented actually, so that it will help you to some perspective that why we need to study this. Nowadays, about operating system, your processor at a time handles multiple jobs, right? That we discussed multitasking, multi-programming. Processor will handle multiple jobs at a time, right? So how it handles? Like one job will come, say I want, assume that you don't to complete it, right? Step by step. But beforehand, we are able to predict how much time a process will take to complete this process. There is such mechanism so far. Okay, so you want to improve the efficiency of the processor. How you execute program of process or you go number of process without making them to wait. You finish as soon as they come, right? You execute the number of processes fastly, then you say that one day your process is efficient. Your processor is efficient, right? You go to as many number of customers are starting jobs are the bank guys, right? Will come, we don't know, but assume that job 1 will come with say, okay, job 2 needs only 2 minutes to finish its job. Now, if you serve first come first serve, whatever the job which will come first, it will take 50 minutes of time. Second job needs only 2 minutes, but it has to wait. It has to wait 50 minutes. It depends on the arrival time, when it arrives also. That all things we'll discuss in the upcoming classes. That the subsequent 50 minutes, but the waiting time is affected, right? Because of the first process. That's where people nowadays what they are using, it's called the process will not serve one job at a time. The process amount of time, say 5 minutes. 5 minutes it will spend on the first job. After that, it will switch to second job. Whatever the amount is needed, it will address that. If job is finished in 2 minutes, it will go back. Then it will go to the third job. Then third job, it will finish again in 2 minutes. Then again it will come back to first job. So in that way, now the waiting time of process 2, process 3 is just 5 minutes. Process 2 has to wait only 5 minutes. Process 3 has to wait only 10 minutes. Because processor is spending 5 minutes on process 1, 5 minutes on process 2, process 3 has to wait only 10 minutes. Earlier the waiting time is 50, process has to wait 50, process 2 has to wait 52. Now this drastically decreased. Now process 1 will, unless there are no other processes in the queue, it will start working on the process 1. When job, another process will come, it will spend. So after finishing the third job, say you have 3 jobs at your hand, it has to come back to the process 1. How the operating system, one of the data structure where that can be implemented is circular linked list. Okay, so whatever the process is coming, you will add them as a node. One after another you will spend. Once those jobs are done, you remove them from your list. You come back to the first node again. So it works like a circular fashion. Okay, that's how you do it with operating system. In detail, what is the arrival time, what is the waiting time, what is the response time, all these things we will study. The CPU scheduling we will study after the data structures. We'll try to understand in detail. But this algorithm is called round robin algorithm, which is practically nowadays all the processes been using. Okay, that's how the multitasking, multi-process are making practically it's working. But they work in very fast. For our human speed, it seems like multiple processes working at the same time on the background. It halts and starts. Okay, it doesn't matter. We will come back to that later. So that's the main application of circular link is you can view that. So what we are studying is not in waste. So please pay attention. Okay, that's why I gave one example. Right. So having studied this, you will see what are the things we need to look at it. While traversing a circular linked list, we should be very careful because there will be no end. Right? There is no null. If you are traversing, you will be traversing infinitely. It's an infinity loop. You will never know when to stop. Okay, when you are traversing, you should be little careful because in circular linked list, every node is a successor to the other node. So the last node, the successor is again head node. Okay, so there is no way to stop once you traverse. So you should be little careful. Unlike singly linked list, there is no null pointer. As I told, there is no null pointer in circular linked list. So that makes our job little tricky. But in circular linked list, we access elements using head node. Always you have a head node like in singular linked list, we have the head node in circular linked list also. Based on that only, we'll try to take a reference whether we reach the end of the list or we are making into a second iteration or not. We will come to a conclusion using head node. Using only the head node is our one reference. Based on that, we'll try to do our operations. Okay. So, like I said, simple CPU scheduling round robin algorithm is one of the best example where you can apply the circular linked list. In detail of this round robin algorithm, we'll study when we discuss about operating system CPU scheduling. Right? Okay. So let us see that how we can print the elements in the circular linked list because there is no null element. What you do in single linked list or double linked list, you start from head, you print from head, you traverse until you reach null. Right link the node next will till you encounter null, you put a loop, you start printing every element. But in circular linked list is careful. So we start with the head, move to the next node, continue to print until you reach the head node. So you have to make pointer until you make a reach to the head node. You have to print the elements. How do you do that? So the current node, whatever you are giving, you point that to head node. Initially, that is your head node. Your current node, you start with the head node. You have a head reference. Your head node will be your current node, right? So if the head is null, then there are no elements to print. Your list is empty. You return. There is no elements in the list. Else, you print the data that is current dot data. Then you move to the next until your current is not equal to head. Okay, till instead of null, again you print, go to the next element, next element, next element until you reach head. You keep printing the data. That's how you traverse. Okay, next you will come to head again. That will be the list of elements in your the elements are in your list or linked list. Okay, so that's how you will print. Does this make sense? The code which is given. Okay, so let us now try to understand again what are the operations that we discussed in singly linked list and doubly linked list. How to insert a node, the beginning, the end, in between. Likewise, we will discuss how to delete a node in beginning, in the end, and in between. But we will not discuss in today's class in between. Why? Insertion in between will not discuss. Deletion in between will not discuss. It's the same as singly linked list. Okay, circular linked list, the last node is connected to the head. So the two operations which are different than singly linked list is how to insert a node in the beginning, how to insert a node at the end, or how to delete a node in the beginning, how to delete a node at the end. Insertion in arbitrary node or deletion in arbitrary node is the same as singly linked list that we studied. The same approach you will follow here also. So we'll discuss only insertion and deletion in the beginning and the end only. Okay, so then we'll stop the class. So once we create a node, you will assign some memory to that. You will create a node. Once you create a node, you just point to itself or do nothing. Don't write. Create a node. You assign some data. We will take care of how to link that value. Okay. How to link means we will have to manipulate the address range of those values. We'll handle that. But once you create a node, you keep it like that. Now we have to do one thing is the next link, the new node, whatever you are creating, the new node address should point to head node. This is insertion at the beginning. Insertion at the beginning, new node should point to the head node. Okay. Why? Because the head node is there, you are inserting in the beginning, then you are inserting before the head. So initially you will point the both nodes to the head, you will move the head pointer to the new node. After that, the third step, you will update. Once you change the pointer of the new node next address to the head, you have to update the last node to the previous node. How to do that? You have to traverse. You have to from the head node, you have to traverse to the last node. From the last node, the link should point to the new node. Okay? Does that make sense? I'll repeat. Once you create a new node, the new node address should point to the head. Okay? Then the last node address should point to the new node. How do you get to the last node? You have to traverse. You have to traverse till the end. That's what we discussed the previous, right? Till you encounter a head, you traverse and you have the current node. That address link next should be updated to the new node. Okay, after updating that, then you move the head location to the previous node. Okay, that is the third step. So make the new node as a head. That is the fourth step. Whatever the new node you inserted, that will be your head because that's how you are inserting at the beginning. Does this make sense? Okay, right. So this is the simple code you will write. Create a node. If there is no space for the new node, if full, there is no space, then you say that error, memory is not available. Otherwise, whatever the data you are taking to new node data, if current dot next is not equal to head, you will keep on going to the till end. The new node dot next will be this is a mistake. Current node dot next will be new node. Okay, update this. Okay, initially you will point to yourself. That is the first step. Okay. This is the code. This is the initially new node will point to itself. See this slide. New node dot next. In this slide, new node dot next is pointing to itself. Initially, once you created that, but we will not do anything. Even if you don't write that step, that's fine. But the textbook they say like that, it's okay. The new node dot next will be the new node itself. Initially, you do that. Then that's fine. See, you see the pointer where I'm moving. Can you able to see? New node dot next is equal to new node. Okay, it's not updated in the slides. Yeah. Now it came. Is it visible where I'm moving my cursor? Yeah, that line you may write or you may not write, that's up to you. Still it will work, okay? Because anyway we are going to update the link. But initially when you're defining a node, you need to define your data and the link. So it would be wise to point to itself before pointing to someone else. That's how they have written anyway. So if the head node is null, then that is your first node, right? If head is null, there are no elements in the list, then whatever the element you are defining, that will be your first node. So what you will do, you will write the new node will be head. See the point, see the line. Address of head is equal to null. If address of head is equal to null means there are no elements in the list. The list is empty. If head is null means there are no elements in the list. Then whatever the new node which you are trying to insert, that will be your head node. Right? That will be your head node. So new node will become head. If not, then what we did, the new node will point to the head node, right? Then you will traverse. Then current dot next, whatever current is, you traverse already. Here, while current dot next not equal to head, current is equal to current dot next. You see the current before in the while loop. The while loop, the beginning of the code, current dot next not equal to head, you moved current is equal to current dot next. You traversed means your current node is pointing to the last node. Your current node is pointing to the last node. Your new node is a node you are trying to insert. Now what will happen? Your head, the new node next will point to the head. The current next will point to new node. The current next will point to the new node. Then you update the head node. Your new node will become the head. Okay. So these are the 3 steps you do to insert in the beginning. Is it clear? Anybody wants me to repeat this? Okay. So likewise, we will do at the insertion at the end. Insertion at the end, you declare a node. After declaring, initially you will point the node to itself. Then what you will do? You have to update the pointer, right? Update the next pointer of the new node with the head node. Whatever the new node dot next will become the head node. Then you will move to the current. You will move the traverse to the till the node which is previous to your head node. Okay, that is your current node. That current node next will become new node. The current next will become new node. Then you don't update the head pointer because you are inserting at the end. The head will point to the same node itself. You don't need to update here. But you have to traverse. You have to traverse to the end. You have to keep that pointer till you before you reach the head node. The current node next will become your new node. New node next will become head node. Okay, that's how you will insert at the end. Okay, so the data what you are inserting at the end next will point to the head. Okay, so this is the code. You traverse here, see current while in the while loop. While current dot next not equal to head, current is equal to current dot next means you are traversing to the node which is previous to the head. your current will point to the node which is previous to your head. Then new node, whatever the new node dot next it point to itself. If head is null, then that is the first element. You will simply insert, the new node will become the head. If the list is not empty, then new node dot next will point to head, current dot next will point to new node. That's what is written. New node dot next will point to head, current dot next will point to new node. Okay, so that's how you'll insert at the end. So likewise, we'll delete, we'll see how to delete the node at the beginning, delete the node at the end. And deletion, like I said, in between any arbitrary node is like singly linked list only. So what I will do for deletion? Deleting the first node. So you want to delete that is the node which is pointing to the head. In this case, 60 is the node which need to be deleted, right? 60 is the node which need to be deleted. Now for that we need to keep the link of the previous node also. Whatever the node that is pointing to the before node, the node that before head node. The node that before head node, we need that link so that after deleting the first node, we need to keep that link to the second node. Right? So you need to keep two references. One is you have to traverse again, keep the reference of the end node, end in the sense the node which is pointing to the head node. That node link you have to update to the second node. Okay, when you do that, then make it free the first node. You will be deleting indirectly the first node. Right. So what we will do, we'll create a temporary variable. The temporary variable will point to the head node, that is the first node. Right. And after pointing the temporary node, we'll update the tail node. Next pointer will be tail node, means that is the node which is before the head node. Let us assume for understanding, tail node is the node which is pointing before the head. The tail next will become temp dot next. Okay, temp dot next will become tail dot next. Same location. Now after that you have to update the head pointer. Head now will become head dot next or temp dot next. Both are pointing at the same location, and you make the free temp node. You make the free temp node. Will be deleting the first node. Okay, so head will point to the next node. Head will point to the next node. Then you will make it free the temp node. Okay, so we can see the code. The temp will point to the head. Current also will point to the head initially. Both will have two references. The temporary node will point to the head. Current will point to the head. Current node will traverse till you reach to the tail. You keep traversing. If the head is null, the list is empty. You can't delete. Head is null, list is empty. You can't delete. Okay. If otherwise you traverse, current dot next is equal to till not equal to head. You keep traverse. You will reach the tail node. Then your current node is pointing to the node which is before the head. Okay. Now what you have to do? Your current dot next will become your head dot next or temp dot next, because temp is also pointing to the head. You can write temp dot next or head dot next. Both are same. Then your head will become head dot next. Your head also will move one location to the rightward. Then after that you will make the temporary node free. Your first node will be deleted. Okay, does this make sense? So likewise, we will delete the node at the end. In order to delete the node at the end, it's very easy, right? So you traverse again, you need again two references. You need the tail node and the node reference before that also. Because the before node, you have to connect to the head node. Right? You have a tail node to be deleted in this case is 40. After deleting 40, seventh link node, the node 7 link should point to head again. So you need to maintain again two pointers. Okay, you need to maintain again 2 pointers, current dot next and the node which is before that also. Because this is a singly linked list, you can't just say previous. You don't have a link here previous. The node is not storing the address of previous. We can't do that. So the way you are defining your data structure is as similar to the singly linked list, but the operations how we are inserting, deleting is only the slightly different. Okay. Now how you are deleting the last node, you have to have two references: the node that need to be deleted and the node that the link, the node reference to the previous node that need to be deleted. You need to have this both references. Okay. Traverse the list, find the tail node and its previous node. How do you find the tail node? Till you encounter the head again, you traverse, and while you are traversing each element, you keep what is the previous node also, that information. Once you have this previous node, in this case, what will happen? Previous dot next will become head. Previous node dot next will become head, right? Then you will make the node to be deleted free. Right? Don't do anything with head. The head should point at the same location. Update the head, next pointers of the tails nodes, previous node to point to head. Tail nodes, previous node to the head. Right? So 7 now is pointing to 60. You see that 7 now is pointing to 60. 40 is also pointing to 60, but you delete that node. After deleting 40, it will not make any sense. So dispose the tail node. Your node will be deleted. So this code will be more or less like this. If head is null, your list is empty. You need to have two reference points. You see here, temporary node is also pointing to head. Current node is also pointing to head. Okay, you have two references. Current dot next is not equal to head. Till that you make current node as a temporary node. Current is equal to current dot next. If that is the case, what is your deletion node? What is the last node? Where the last node will point to? Current node is pointing to which node? In this example, in this code, current node is pointing to last node. Temporary node is pointing to the node which is previous. See the code, current dot next not equal to head. If that is not equal to head, you are making your current node as a temporary. Then you are moving into next node. Your current you are updating, current is equal to current dot next. Current will point to the node that is to be deleted. Temporary node will point to the previous node. Okay, that node which is to be deleted, previous node, temporary will point to that position, right? Now temp dot next will become current dot next, means current dot next is pointing to the head. Now temp dot next will become current dot next, right? Again, free the current node. Because that is the node you have to delete, free the current node, and your node will be deleted at the end. Is this clear? Okay, that's it. So we finish the class. Okay. So this is how circular linked list. Understood single linked list, double linked list, circular linked list. You can try circular double linked list. Okay. In circular double linked list, all you have to do is take care of insertion at the beginning, insertion at the end, deletion at the beginning, deletion at the end. Arbitrary node we already discussed in double linked list. Now in circular linked list, you don't have a null. Again, you will have a head pointer. While go to the tail node, you have to update two lists. Right? Head dot previous will become your tail node. Tail node dot next will become your head node. Right? So likewise, you can now only you have to update two pointers locations in doubly linked list, doubly circular linked list. You have not null node. So remaining all things are same. Like how we do, take a reference of circular linked list, take a reference of doubly linked list, and try to do the doubly circular linked list. Write a code and submit it. This is your second assignment. Okay. First assignment I gave to verify all the processes explore that and submit a report. This is your second assignment. Doubly linked, circular doubly linked list. Write the logic and the code based on the things what you understood and submit it. Okay. By next week you submit it. Okay. Is this clear? Okay. We'll stop. Although we started very late, we finished in time. Okay, you have any doubts? No doubts? Not.